Alright, what we're going to do today is we're going to go over how to attach a handle. So for that, you want to make sure that you have a clay tool that you can score with. I'm going to use my needle tool. In your clay tool bags, I would recommend using the fork. You might want to get a loop tool. You'll also need some slip and a way to apply your slip, which would be the toothbrush or possibly a brush, a paintbrush or something. So what a handle is, it's a piece that you're going to add to the lid of your pot. So I have my lid here. I have the notch. I'll show you how you can do something a little bit more decorative for the notch. I also have a foot, as you can see. And then on the bottom of the lid, I have my lip attached. And you don't want to do this until your lid's leather hard. You can leave the paper towel on the inside. That'll only help to support it. So, to form a handle, I'm going to set this off to the side. You could do a couple different things. You could get some clay that's wedged, roll it into a knob, okay, circular shape like this. But you want to take a loop tool and hollow it out. Because if you have a large chunk like this on your clay, it's not going to dry as fast as the other clay is, and it's going to come off of your lid. The only thing is, once you score this and slip it to your lid, you'll want to pick your lid up, and wherever it's scored and slipped, that put a hole in the lid. Okay. Another thing that you can do is you can take a coil. I have a coil here, and you would want to roll a coil on your table, not on the canvas. And if it's flip-flopping around, you can twist it opposite. Once you twist it opposite, then it makes it a little bit easier to get it thin. And then from there, you can kind of pat it out on the canvas, because otherwise it will stick to the clay. Anytime you're flattening clay, you always want to do that on canvas. And then you could do something a little bit more decorative for your handle if you wanted to. So this would look like this, or you could reshape it to look like this. You just want to keep in mind that it's going to be hitting a flat surface. Okay? So if I was going to attach this, I'd want to trim it down and score it and slip it to the lid like that. But what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to take, I have this clay that I flattened out, and how I did this is I throwed it at an angle after I patted it down, so I went like this and kind of flattened it out that way. This is not how you flatten your clay. Okay? That doesn't really do anything. It doesn't displace the clay particles, so it works much better if you kind of pound it at an angle or throw it at an angle. And what I'm going to do for my handle is I have cookie cutouts. You can take the cookie cutouts, and what you do is you just put a mark in the clay. And I'm going to put another mark. In the clay. You don't want to cut the whole way through, because otherwise they will stick. And then they're difficult to get out of the cookie cutter. And you could wait until this was leather hard, or you could do it while the clay is plastic. If it's a letter or something that's a little bit more defined, you might want to wait. But something like this that's a little bit more of an organic kind of shape that doesn't matter if it's misshaped, you can do now. Okay? So then from there, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my screen. If this is my lid, what I'm going to do is I'm going to score and slip this like this. Okay, so I'm only going to score and slip the pot where it will be attached at. I won't have to do that everywhere. So what this looks like from up top, let's say that you want to figure out where you're going to put it. Make sure that you like the design. I'm going to kind of tap this on the table here and kind of change the shape of it some. So I made it a little bit more of an oval shape, kind of stretched it. I'm going to have it go right there. I'm going to score here. Remember, scratch to attach, which is scoring. Score here. And then I'm going to apply my slip. Both areas that have been scored. And then when I do this, I want to squish it back and forth like this so that the slip comes out. And then I'm going to press it on a little bit better. Like that, to make sure that I have a good attachment. The other thing I'm going to do, you can see the slip that's kind of out there. You can take your sponge, paper towel, anything like that, and you can kind of smooth it out. Okay, that way. That'll dry and you won't even see that. The other thing that you could do, since you have something like this that's attached, is roll a small coil and add it on there for support. So to do that, I'm going to take a small coil. If I don't have slip in those areas, I'm going to put it back. And I'm going to take my coil. You want to make sure this is pretty plastic clay. And I'm going to put it on those two sides there. So I have one on each side, you can see. And then you can use your clay shaping tool to be able to smooth these together. So you can take this and kind of press it. I'm supporting the outside whenever I go to do this. You can use your finger to kind of smooth it out. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. If you leave any clay rigid or bumpy, it'll stay that way whenever it comes out of the kiln, and it'll be hard. So it could cut you. So you want to make sure that you get your clay as smooth as you can. And you can do that by taking your sponge that's wrung out, so a damp sponge, and kind of smoothing things out. Now you don't want to get it too wet, because if you get it too wet, there's a chance that it will misshape it and turn it kind of back into slip. It'll cave in on itself. Just a little bit of water will help to displace those particles around. Okay. And the other thing that I'm going to do is right here where I have my notch at, I'm going to put a design there. So to put a design there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this circle, since I'm kind of going with that motif. I'm going to smooth it out. I'm going to look at this and kind of place it. And then I'm going to draw a line where I know I need to cut it. So right there is where I need to cut it. You can use your knife to do this. And then all I'm going to do is on the lid and the body, I'm going to score and slip them separate and kind of match them up. So to do that, okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do is score and slip, being careful that the lid doesn't get attached to the body of the pot. And smudge it in. And then the same thing down here. Now once it's on, you'll be able to fit these together a little bit. So you'll be able to see like how they're supposed to go. Because this is still plastic clay, so you can still shape it to fit how it needs to fit. And it'll go right where the notch is at. Now, if at any point you're unhappy with how this looks, you could always tear it apart and start again. And you can always work on shaping these together to see how to make them look like they fit together better. So this is the finished product after a little bit more smoothing.